Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer Anderson, Superstar Director of Radiant RockStars, and it's Tuesday night, RockStar Rally night, my favorite night of the week, where I get to spend it with all of you. And it's freaking November 2nd. I expect this to be our biggest month of the year. Like, the biggest month of the year. And October was already huge. We had so many new promotions, which we just celebrated. We had new directors. We had new star director, Janelle Greatorex. Whoop whoop, by the way. Congratulations on your promotion to star director. And we just have like so many good things happening. And there's so many good reasons to celebrate, and there's so much going right for so many people. But on the other hand, there's also, like, do we have hard times? You know, like, even amidst like big success and things that are going really good and things that are working in our favor and all these things are coming and there's so much to celebrate, like in the day-to-day, I also hear a lot of like, I'm overwhelmed or I'm unmotivated or like, how do I motivate my team? I feel like I'm pulling teeth, right? Has anyone ever felt that way with their team? Or even if something is going really good, it's easy for us to get frustrated or say like, I just don't have the motivation, or I'm just tired, or I'm just too busy, or I'm distracted, right? Like, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season for that kind of stuff. And as much as we have to celebrate, and you guys know that that's where I like to live, right? I like to live in seeing what's right with the world, seeing what's right with your business, seeing what's right with Scentsy, seeing what's right with your customers, finding the good in every situation. I also understand that sometimes you have days where it's just hard. Maybe it's hard to get started, or maybe you're new to becoming a director and you're like, okay, I kind of feel a little bit overwhelmed of like, where do I begin? Where do I go? Maybe you're new to Scentsy. Maybe you're a new consultant and you're like, okay, where do I go? And we create all these big giant lists of things that we have to do or things that we see other people do. And we put them on our plate or put them into our life and our business and make them these expectations. But they're kind of like these self-imposed expectations, right? Because nobody's your boss. You get to be your own boss, and nobody says you have to do anything, and you're the one who gets to make the rules in your life and in your business. So these expectations that we kind of impose on ourselves, but they can kind of be suffocating and demotivating and the opposite of where we want to go and what we want to do. And so all the time I hear like, I'm just not motivated, or I just don't feel like doing it, or I just don't want to work my business, or I'm just tired, or I'm just too busy, or whatever. And here's the thing. People think that they lack motivation, but what they really lack is clarity on their goals and clarity on what they really want. So if you ever get to a point in your business where you're like, man, I just don't feel like it, or I just don't have it in me, or I'm just overwhelmed, or I have so many things to do, I'd rather just not. You have to go back a step and back a step and back a step until we can gain clarity on what it is that you really, really want out of this business. What it is that you really want out of your life. Because, for example, if you saw me post in Radiant RockStars the other day, I posted a picture of my dining room, which is currently a sorting and processing facility for Scentsy. And my dining room is my favorite room in my home. And I know that sounds really crazy. It's the least used room. And it's probably my favorite room because it's just clean and simple and sort of never gets messy, because we don't really go in it very much and it just always looks the same. And I love the furniture in there. I love it being open and all of this. But for these 3 months out of the year, my dining room is absolutely trashed. And so is my hallway. It's full of Scentsy boxes. And there's almost like pathways. I mean, my house could look like an episode of Hoarders. But it's Scentsy. And here's the thing. I know that this is a temporary thing that I have to go through to get to my ultimate goals and what I really want for my life and for my business. But it's very easy to look at any of that and get overwhelmed. It's easy to look at any of that and think like, oh my gosh, maybe I just couldn't do this or shouldn't do this. In fact, I had someone say something like, there's no way I could ever handle that, or that would drive me too crazy, or there's no way I could ever do that. Just something sort of along those lines. And I thought to myself, don't get me wrong, I'm the type of person that clutter gives me extreme anxiety, like actual just clutter gives me anxiety. So imagine how I feel, right, when my house and my dining room are all torn up. And someone said I could never do that. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? You can actually do anything if your dreams are big enough. If your dreams are big enough, you can freaking do anything. Because you know what? What I realized is that this mess of a dining room and this mess of a house and the clutter that I have going on right now, it's just temporary. It's just something I'm walking through to get to the other side. It's just a piece of the puzzle. It's a tiny piece of the puzzle. And I could look at all of it and I could be mad and angry and overwhelmed and sit down and tired and frustrated and curl up in a corner and say like, well, I'm just not gonna blah, 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 insert whatever here. Or I'm gonna say, oh, I'm so anxious or mad or nervous, or I can't handle this, or I can't do this, or I'm never gonna do this again because it's too much. But instead I say, I can do anything because my dreams are that big. I can do anything and I can endure anything, even for just a few months, because what I want is so deep and worth this sort of crappy 3 months, this overwhelming 3 months, this struggle of a time. What I really want is worth whatever it takes to get there. And so you think you lack motivation, or you think you're not interested in your business anymore, or you think that you're overwhelmed, or that you can't do this, or you don't have what so-and-so has, but what you really don't have is clarity. What you really don't have is clarity on your goals and clarity in what you want. And what you really don't have is nailed down what you really want out of this life and business. And you haven't connected how your business can provide that for you. You've got to get clarity on what you really want. And then you've got to connect your business to it and show yourself how your business can provide that for you. Clarity is on your goals. Like your goals are not director, star director, superstar director. Trust me. Those are important parts, and those are definitely going to be part of your journey of achieving your goals. But your goals are things like quitting your job, building your dream home, buying your dream car, having a savings account. Like those are the things that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a title. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, what do you want your life to look like? So we get so overwhelmed, we get so in our way, we get so in our head, we look at what everyone else is doing, and we pile all these things on this giant list, to-do list that we have to do, things that we have to fix, problems we have to fix in our business, things we have to overcome. And someone told me this one time, and it was like mind-blowing to me, and they said, when everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. Woo! And that like hit the nail on the head for me, because we overwhelm ourselves with all of these things that we think we have to do, or we convince ourselves that a good consultant does. And when we are spread too thin or trying to do too many things at once, nothing actually gets done, or nothing gets done well. When everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So stop looking at all of the things that you think you need to fix and start small. Do you want to win? Like, do you want big success? Do you want to achieve director, star director, superstar director? Do you want to achieve top 75? Do you want to achieve a trip for two? Do you want to achieve a $5,000 paycheck in a month? Do you want to have a $10,000 paycheck in a month? Get clarity on what it is that you want. And then guys, you start with one thing at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. Start small and build your dream. Someone asked me today, how did you get to the point where you are doing these events where you sell that much product? I started small and I built what I have now. I started with a small event. I started with a table at a craft fair. I started with my first recruit. I started with a $99 starter kit. I started with my first party. I started with my first referral. I started with asking my hairdresser to come set up a table in the salon. Really, one foot in front of the other. Start small and build the dream. Don't look at the dream and think, either A, I can't achieve that, or that's not for me, or that's out of my league, or I'll never get there. Start small and build it. One thing at a time. Take it one day at a time, one step at a time. When everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So pick one thing, two things, three things, make them priorities, master them, and then move on. Here's how you get clarity in your business. Here's how you get clarity on what you want out of this business. Number one, remove the distractions from your life. The ones that you can. There are going to be some things in your life that you feel like are distractions, but you can't remove them. Maybe like a 9-to-5 or family or responsibilities. Here's what I want you to understand. If you've got something in your life that can't be removed, it's not actually a distraction. That's the stuff life is made of. If you've got something in your life that can't be removed, those are important things in your life and it's not actually a distraction. So stop looking at those things and calling them distractions and figure out how to work your business around those things that are important. Recognize that those things aren't distractions. They're the good stuff. They're the things your life is made of. Scentsy shouldn't be your entire life. Your business shouldn't take over your life. Your business works around your life. Your business works around all of those good and beautiful things that make your life full. But remove distractions that you have. Maybe it's looking at other people and what they're doing. Maybe it's listening to negativity. Maybe it's fighting the negative demons in your own head. Maybe it's social media on your phone. Maybe you should remove social media off of your phone so that you're not distracted by it and you actually just do work. You decide. Number two, stop blaming yourself and just freaking move on. Stop blaming yourself. You cannot dwell on past mistakes and missed opportunities. Move the heck on. Get the heck over it. And I know this sounds crazy and it might sound harsh, but when we live and dwell on all the things that we should have done but didn't do, or all the things that we did wrong and should have done better, it literally stifles you from moving forward. Robin Benincasa, she was a speaker at SFR many years ago, and she said, don't look back. You're not going that way. Winning is that way. Winning is forward. Don't look back. You're not going that way. So don't dwell on your past mistakes and missed opportunities. Now listen, it takes a lot of maturity to be able to learn from your past mistakes and missed opportunities. So if you're not there yet, you literally need to just get the heck over it, stop dwelling on it, and stop thinking about it. there's a lot of important lessons to learn, but it takes a lot of maturity. And I feel like it takes a lot. You have to be in this business for a long time sometimes before you can get to the point where you're able to learn from those things without them holding you back. So if you're not there, recognize it and freaking let them go. Let it go. Let it go. It doesn't matter what you did before or didn't do before or used to do or used to wish you did. None of those things matter. Let it go. Winning is that way. Winning is forward, my friends. Number 3, just don't quit. Don't quit. Do not stop trying. Do not stop trying to find what your goals really are. Do not quit. Don't give up when it's hard. Don't give up when it's easy. Decide, you've got to find clarity, decide what it is you really want, and then connect your business to it. Teach yourself how your business can bring that dream to life. Teach yourself how your business can provide for you. Your business is the vehicle to all of the things that you really want. Your business isn't the dream. Superstar director isn't the dream, because if you're like, I just want to be an SSD so bad, and that's all you want, when you get to SSD, you're like, okay, now what? Now what? That can't be your dream. That can't be your motivator. That can't be the thing you're working for. So get clarity on what you want your life to look like. Get clarity on what you want how do you want your day to go? When you wake up on a Wednesday, what do you want it to look like? Do you want to go to work? Do you want to stay in your pajamas? Do you want to raise your kids? Do you want to send them to daycare? What do you want? Get clarity on what you want. You don't lack motivation. You don't lack joy. You don't lack happiness in your business. You lack clarity on what it is that you really need and you really want. So that's where you have to go.